Hello, welcome to JenPenCreations. I'm Jen. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I actually already touched on in my video about 3-year-olds, and that is teaching people how to treat us. I strongly believe that we teach other people how to treat us in this world. If you allow somebody to walk all over you, they're going to. If you allow somebody to beat you up regularly and then apologize later and keep coming back and you're still there, they're going to keep doing it. You teach people how to treat you in this world. If someone treats you like crap and you decide that you're going to tell them, don't treat me like crap. I don't want to be your friend if you're going to treat me like crap. You're teaching them how to treat you. That's what all of today's episode is going to be about. So I hope that you stay with me for it. I'm going to grab my coffee and we're going to get right to it. Teaching people how to treat me was honestly one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. It was a rough one. I knew that I was being treated bad by certain people and I just allowed it to happen. And I allowed them to be in my life because I thought that because they were certain people that they were required to be in my life, regardless of how well or how bad or how terrible they treated me. That lesson was rough. I had to learn that lesson back in 2010. So it's been about 15, 16 years, going on 16, I guess, since I've had to wholeheartedly learn this lesson. And I learned it and I practice it all the time. Every day, because I learned that life is way too short to allow people to treat you like garbage in this world. You can be as nice as you possibly can to somebody and they will still treat you like garbage because they don't care about you. And they never really have. And that's a hard thing to learn. And it hurts. But it's a lesson we all need to learn. And honestly, I am really, really glad that I learned it when I did, because I was able to teach it to my children before they became adults. I could teach that lesson to my kids while they were children. Most children don't learn that lesson because children are taught that you are not allowed to teach people how to treat you. Like, you're not allowed to cut someone off if they're not nice to you. As a child, I know I wasn't allowed to. Were you? I mean, leave me a message in the comments. Were you allowed to just cut off a family member because they didn't treat you right as a kid? I know I wasn't. Someone could say something mean and snarky and just hateful to me, and I just had to deal with it. And that was just the way that person was, and I had to deal with them every time we went to family anything. Someone making fun of me because of the name I gave one of my children. Come on, man, you're my family. You're not supposed to make fun of me because of the names I give my children when you gave your children just as funky of names. Judge not, lest ye be judged, right? Like, isn't that what my last video was about? We shouldn't be judging people about this stuff. The things we should be judging people about is how they treat us. And that's when we cut them off. Because how somebody treats you is how they're going to treat you forever if you allow that. So you cut them off. There, right there, cutting them off like that, you have taught them that they are not allowed to treat you like that. God doesn't want us to be treated like crap. God doesn't want us to be used and abused and hated on and stomped on and pushed in the mud. God doesn't want that for us. He created us to be loved and to love each other. So when other people treat you like that, they're obviously not loving you. God doesn't want those people in your life. Get them out. So I was able to start teaching my children this lesson when they were still in school. And I thank God every day that He gave me the ability to do this for them. Let me give you an example. One day, one of my kids came home from school. Now, they all like to play video games, okay? And usually the neighborhood kids would come over and hang out and play video games and stuff with the kids, okay? No big deal. Neighborhood kids are awesome, usually. But this particular day, my child had gone to school, and two of their friends from the neighborhood decided to just be bullies to them at school that day. Then they decided they were going to come over after school and hang out and play video games all day. And my child was like, no, you were mean to me at school and I don't want to play with you today. And they closed the door and went back to doing what they were doing. That moment made me so proud. Not that my child turned away their friends at the door, but because these kids treated my child like crap at school, and my child decided that they weren't going to let these people treat them like that. They said, no, I'm not playing with you today. And this is the reason why. You were mean to me at school today. So no, you're not going to come over to my house and play today. So I was very, very proud of my child for that. That is a very mature thing to do at the age that my child was, like 7 maybe. And it was just fascinating watching it because I was able to instill that in my children because I had learned that lesson. And I think all children need to learn this very, very, very early in their lives, that they need to be able to know when they're not being treated right, and they need to know how to get out of that situation. Us as parents, as parental guardians of these amazing beings, need to be able to teach them how to protect themselves from somebody who doesn't like them, from somebody who's just mean to them, or somebody who's just using them for video game playing time after school. So it's one of those lessons that I think really should be learned at a very young age. And I was very thankful for being able to teach my children that at a young age. However, I did not learn that at a very young age. Actually, I did not learn that until I was in my 30s. Probably, mid-30s, I think. Which to me, I feel like that I was way behind. Okay, that was way behind for me because I have had numerous people in my life treat me like crap. So I didn't learn that lesson until later in my life. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I learned it in my 30s. I kind of wish I would have learned it earlier. But that's okay. God gives us this information in the time that we need it. So at the time that I learned this, I really, really needed it. And I ended up cutting off quite a few people in my life around that time. I had several friends that really weren't friends. They didn't treat me nice. They stole from me, lied to me, used me. JenPenCreations wasn't always a YouTube channel. I have been doing photography and web design, logo design for many years since I graduated college under the name JenPenCreations. I was helping a friend for their wedding, making their wedding invitations and their announcements, and I was even getting my backyard all ready and decorated for their wedding. I had promised another friend of mine that I would babysit her children on the day that this wedding was supposed to take place because it was taking place at my house and we weren't going anywhere. And it was no big deal because it didn't matter that I didn't have space in my car for all of the kids because we weren't going anywhere, right? 1 week before the wedding, I get a call from this friend having the wedding telling me, don't be mad. We're just not going to have the wedding at your house. We're having it at my mom's house in her backyard because her backyard is so much better than yours. And she thinks that my wedding deserves so much better than you and your backyard. Mind you, I had made her invitations. I had created her announcements. I had baked her cake. I was her maid of honor. So I was also planning a bridal shower in my backyard barbecue. I had already bought everything. I had already bought decorations. The cake was already being made. And don't be mad. Oh, don't be mad. You just put forth all this effort for my day and my thing and bent over backwards for me. But don't be mad because now you're not going to be my maid of honor. This other person that I've only known for a week is going to be my maid of honor, and it's going to be held in my mom's backyard, and you don't get to go. Don't be mad. Okay, so that made me livid. I mean, no, I wasn't mad. I was fucking pissed. Like, come on, who does that? Like, I was used for months to get this done. And I was bending over backwards and spending money that I didn't have and doing things for her that I just didn't have time to do. And I did it anyway for no reason. All for nothing. So needless to say, I chose to not be that person's friend anymore. I'm like, if you're just going to be A-okay with using me like that and treating me like that and abusing me like that, then you don't get to be my friend. I don't want to be friends with you. Around that same time, I had another friend who was supposed to be helping me move. We were moving from one side of town to another, and this friend of mine was supposed to be helping me. She was the only person who had a key to the house that we were moving out of, and we were in the process of moving stuff back and forth. So there were 6 of us, and all of our meat and stuff for our family was in my freezer, still at the old house. We hadn't moved it yet because we didn't want the meat to go bad until we could get the freezer over there and get everything in. So it makes sense. The day we moved our freezer, I found that all of our meat was gone. I had no food for my family for the first month that we lived in our new house. The only person who had a key to that house where all of our food was being stored still was my friend. And I knew right then that it was her and her family that took it, that stole from us. And I was done. I can't be your friend. If you're going to steal from my family, you're going to steal the food off my family's plates. I can't be your friend. So my children learned those lessons back then too. They saw what happened. They felt what happened. My kids were the ones going hungry because that person stole our food. That made me question everything and made me rethink all of the friends in my life and how people have treated me thus far. I've realized that not everybody in this world is your friend, whether they claim to be or not. Friends don't lie to you. Friends don't use you. Friends don't steal from you. At that time, I still was talking to my mother, and she actually had the gall to ask me, "Do you even have friends anymore?" Oh, because I choose not to be friends with people who use me and steal from me. So now I just don't have friends? No. I do have friends. I have the best friends. The friends that everybody needs in this world. The ones who have your back no matter what. Who will never lie to you, never steal from you, never use you or abuse you or treat you like garbage and then expect you to be their best friend again. Yeah, I don't have friends like that. No, I don't. And to this day, she is still friends with those people who treated me like crap. Oh, only because she has to have friends, no matter who they are. You have to have friends, no matter how fake and disgusting they are. You should just keep them in your life. Otherwise, you just will be lonely, I guess. Well, that's not true. You teach people how to treat you in this world, and because of that, I have also stopped talking to her. My life has been a lot less stressful since I've stopped talking to her. I don't get so anxious at Christmas time thinking I have to call somebody who doesn't even care about me and doesn't really give a flying crap about our Christmas or what we're doing or, who we are as people, actually. The last time my kids went to go stay with her, she treated them like crap. For some reason, that's the way my family has been towards me and my children most of my life. Unfortunately, because of the circumstances surrounding my children and the way I was treated, I choose not to talk to my mother anymore. And it's not a trend. It's not a fad. That's what happens when you are trying to teach people how to treat you. You're trying to teach your children that you teach people how to treat you. It was a big oxymoron when I was trying to teach my kids that they should not be treated like that, but yet I was allowing my family to treat me like that. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I learned a long time ago that regardless who the person is, whether they're a friend, whether they're family, blood related, whatever, it doesn't matter who they are. If they treat you like garbage, get them out of your life. They don't deserve you at all. They don't. They don't deserve you at your worst. They don't deserve you at your best. They don't deserve to be around you at all if they're going to treat you like that. all of these little things pile up to big things. The last profound thing that I remember that was said to me was when I was super excited because I had finally cut a habit that I had had since I was 2 years old. I used to bite my nails. I would bite them down so far, they would be down under my cuticle, down there, and they would hurt so bad, so bad. But it was my own fault. I was the one biting my nails. I was the one biting them down so far. Well, I had finally decided around 34 years old that I was going to actively try to stop biting my nails. And as you can see, I have. I grow them out very little and then I file them down, but they're there. And I don't chew them anymore. And you know what I was told? That me kicking a habit that I had had since I was 2 was just a sign of me finally maturing in my life. Oh, I'm finally maturing at 34 years old. Not the fact that I've raised 4 kids and I had a husband, a house, and, that didn't make me mature. Putting my kids through school and taking care of them and putting them in daycare and going to work and busting my ass to raise kids, that didn't make me mature. No. Now that I don't bite my nails anymore, now I'm a mature human. When in all actuality, that's just a fucking accomplishment. It's not being mature. It's accomplishing a fucking goal. And why can't you be happy for me? Sorry about the tears, but this subject hits me pretty hard. Nobody makes the decision to cut off their mother lightly at all. It was a very hard decision for me. I had thought about it for years, just because of the way I had been treated most of my life. And, when she told me that, it hurt so bad. Because all I could do was think about that. Like, really, did I spend my whole life trying to accomplish this goal to achieve maturity? I was pretty positive I had already achieved that. I thought I achieved that when I was 17 years old. Chose to actually give birth to a baby that I got pregnant with when I could have had an abortion. I chose to give birth to a baby. I chose to be the baby's mommy. I chose to take care of this baby with all of my heart and soul and being. I got my own apartment. I paid my own bills. I did everything. I thought that was being mature. But apparently, I wasn't mature until I quit biting my fingernails. Give me a break. That was just a goal I was trying to accomplish. That doesn't mean that you're mature. It just means that you accomplished a fucking goal. And at that point, she should have said, "Oh, congratulations. Oh my gosh, dude, I know you've been trying to break this habit for so long. I'm so proud of you." That's all she would have had to say. But no, she just looked at me and said, "Oh, well, now you're finally mature." While she was standing in my house, eating my food with my children I was taken care of. It was wrong. And the day that I finally made the decision to say I'm done and I really don't want you in my life anymore was after my oldest child blew up on me on Facebook, saying all kinds of stuff that wasn't true. It was just a bunch of shit that was in her head. And at that point, my mom loved her status that day, commented on her status about how she's so sad that she's going through this and that I'm so sorry that your mom is treating you like this. And in that same second that she posted that comment, she wrote me in my messenger, a direct message, telling me how much she loved me and how I'm supposed to have a beautiful, wonderful day that day. After loving a status about how horrible I am as a person and a mother, and commenting on it about how horrible I am as a person and a mother, and then turning around and being so disgusting by writing to me and telling me how much you love me, that I'm supposed to have a wonderful day because you said so. In that moment, I was so angry and so upset. That was the day I cut her off. Took her off my Facebook page as a friend. I never blocked her. I took her off my page as a friend. But nobody makes this decision to cut off their parents lightly. I was required to cut off my father. I had to put him in prison for what he did. You teach people how to treat you in this world. And when I cut off my family, and I've cut off those particular quote unquote friends, I'm teaching people how to treat me. And I'm gonna tell you right now, my life has been so much more freeing. I don't have near as much panic and anxiety inside me as I did before. Yes, anxiety is still there. We talked about it already. Anxiety and being a bad friend sometimes. And that goes back to judgment too. Like, you can judge your friends for not getting back to you within a week, or you can just be their friend and wait for them to come around. I mean, there's that. People aren't being mean to you because they haven't gotten back to you. People are being mean to you when they're blatantly saying mean things about you, agreeing with mean things being said about you, and then turning around into your face telling you, I love you. That is two-faced, disgusting, and mean and hateful. You don't do that to people. You don't talk shit about them behind their back and then go up to their face and tell them how much they're your bestie, okay? That's fucked up. You don't do that to people. And I don't allow people to treat me like that. And I've taught my children that they don't allow people to treat them like that. Actually, several of my children won't talk to my mother either. Because when you're being treated like that, it is not okay. You teach people in this world how to treat you, including your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your siblings, your children, your spouse, your friends, your acquaintances, your boss, your coworkers. You teach everybody in this world how to treat you. If your boss is running you ragged and having all kinds of unrealistic expectations from you, and you just continue and continue and continue and continue, you're teaching them that they can just treat you like that and it's okay. And I understand right now in this society, in this United States society we live in right now, this economic disaster of a society we live in right now, when you have a job, you have to keep it. I get that. And it's hard to teach your boss how to treat you in this kind of economy. It's hard to teach people how to treat you in this world, but there are some people that you absolutely can. This world is hard. And teaching people how to treat you in this world is also hard. And I get that. But I'm here for you. I am a very strong believer in that. You need to be able to teach people how to treat you, or you will always get walked on and stepped on and rolled over in this world. Because there are many, many, many people out there who only care about themselves. They don't care about you. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about where you came from. They don't care about the struggles that you're going through in life. They don't care about your accomplishments. They're going to tell you your accomplishments are just a sign of maturity. Finally, you're mature at 34 years old. Come on. That is a load of bullshit and you know it. Don't be like that. So I know that I got off on a couple of tangents. Got a little emotional there for a minute. But honestly, I don't think anybody can cut a family member off like that, especially a parent, and not get emotional about it. Because that decision is never made lightly. We make those decisions because we know how we deserve to be treated in this world, and our parents aren't treating us the way we deserve to be treated. And sometimes you just have to say enough is enough. So I do believe that is where I'm going to end our discussion today. I'm hoping that you stuck around with me. Sorry for my emotional craziness there. I hope you got something from it. That you choose to do something for you today. Love you. Okay? Do something to love you today. Do something to love somebody else today. To show them that they're right for keeping you in their life because you treat them the right way. And make sure that you're being treated the right way today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.